Picture this. All the burdens you hold in your heart vanish, the invisible wounds that ache begin to mend, and the anxiety, sadness, and fear that have stolen your peace are transformed into a steadfast hope. God recognizes your suffering and understands each tear you've cried. Today, He assures you, I will restore your spirit. All will be well. Simply trust. Hold on to your faith. Perhaps you possess implying a lack of understanding from everyone, though the nights stretch endlessly and the days weigh you down. Remember, there is always someone by your side, unwavering and steadfast. His love surpasses any tempest. This is the weight you carry. His power can bring back what you believed was gone, regardless of the depth of your pain. The divine possesses the ability to restore it entirely. Now is the time to let go of the weight of self-reliance and embrace the support of the one who truly upholds you. True faith is rooted not in your perceptions, but in the essence of who God is. He will deliver on His promises, and what seems impossible today will stand as a testament to His greatness. Embrace Him fully and let His love create the transformation within you before you take the next step. Let's unite in prayer in the comments. Lord, heal my soul and guide me to trust in you. Embrace this message with unwavering belief, for divine intervention is actively shaping your journey at this very moment. We align with the message. Exodus 15, verse 26, I am your healer, the Lord. How many times have you felt that something inside you is broken? I am not only talking about physical illnesses, but wounds in the soul, of scars that no one sees, of burdens that you've carried for too long. But today God tells you something powerful. I am the Lord your healer. There is no pain that God cannot restore. There is no wound so deep that His love cannot heal. He is not only a God who observes from a distance, but a God close who sees every tear you have shed, who understands every suffering you have gone through, and who has the power to lift you up, restore you, and bring you back to life. Maybe you have been struggling for years with something you seem to have solution, a disease that has drained your strength, a depression that has extinguished your light, a wound from the past that still burns like the first day. But listen well, God not only wants to relieve the pain, He wants to heal you completely. He doesn't want you to just survive, but He wants you to live fully with joy, with hope, with renewed strength. Think of all the times Jesus healed the sick. He didn't ask them if they deserved it. He didn't want you to heal them. He established conditions, yet He didn't demand proof of faith before performing the miracle. He simply reached out, uttered a word, and the miracle unfolded. When God declares, I am your healer, it is a powerful affirmation, not an empty promise. However, here lies the crucial point. Often, we desire healing but hesitate to surrender what pains us. We seek His intervention while still clinging to what harms us, and as a result, God cannot heal what we withhold. It's akin to a child who is injured. The father wishes to heal him, but the child conceals the wound, fearing further pain. He resists the touch, dreads the medicine because it stings. Yet the father understands that while the remedy may bring temporary discomfort, it ultimately leads to complete healing. Embrace the pain that life brings. It's a part of your journey. In the heart of the wilderness, the Israelites encountered waters so bitter they were undrinkable. Overwhelmed by desperation and frustration, they wrestled with the haunting belief that they had been forsaken by God. In that moment, God revealed His might, turning what seemed like a crisis into a powerful testament of His unwavering faithfulness. He can achieve the same results for you. Row and turn it into joy. He can take what the enemy wanted to use to destroy you and make it the basis of your victory. But here is the key point. You are willing to believe because God's healing is not only for some, it is not only for the holiest. It is for everyone who trusts in him. If today you decide to believe, if today say, that is, Lord, you are my healer and I trust that you will restore me, you will see how his power begins to manifest in your life. And this does not mean that everything will change in a single instant. Sometimes God heals in a second, and other times he does it in a process, but in both cases he remains faithful no matter how long it takes. If God promised it, he will fulfill it. If today you feel that your body is tired, if your heart is broken, if your mind is full of anxiety, don't keep carrying that weight. Just give it to God. Tell him, Lord, I can't handle this, but you are my healer. I trust you, and let his power do what you can't do. Remember this, there's nothing impossible for God. There's no sickness he can't cure. There's no heart he can't restore. There's no spirit he can't elevate. When he speaks, he delivers. And today he declares to you, I am the Lord, your healer. Have faith, for your miracle is approaching. Psalms 30 verse 2 beautifully expresses, Lord my God, I cried out to you and you healed me. In moments when darkness envelopes you, when the weight of pain feels insurmountable and hope appears out of reach, there exists a transformative power that can shift your entire reality. Reaching out to God is a powerful expression of faith, as Jesus hears your most profound pleas. When he hears, he takes action. How often have we sought solutions independently? We search tirelessly for answers, seeking to fill the emptiness and mend what is fractured. Yet, some wounds can only be healed by a higher power. There are afflictions that no earthly solution can remedy. Some pains remain beyond the reach of any doctor, and there are depths of anguish that only the divine can truly understand. Indeed, David grasped it even while enduring his pain. Amidst his struggles, he relied solely on himself. He did not seek assistance from others. In a moment of desperation, he called out to God, and the response was swift. You healed me. Consider this. How often have you attempted to tackle it by yourself? How many sleepless nights have you endured, bearing the weight of it all? A deep sorrow, it's something you just can't release. Have you ever felt like no one truly understands you, that no one recognizes the weight you bear within? Rest assured, there is a higher power that sees it all. Not only does he acknowledge your pain, but he also possesses the incredible ability to heal it. When God heals, he does so entirely. There are no lingering scars. No wounds are left unhealed. His healing is not fleeting. It is profound. It is absolute. He has the power to heal your body, mend your heart, and restore your mind. He is a God of restoration, a God of love, always ready to respond when you reach out to him. But remember this crucial point, you must be willing to reach out. Divine healing awaits you, but it requires your active pursuit. Trust in the process and release the burdens that weigh you down into his hands. It's not just about uttering hollow phrases. It's about truly opening your heart and expressing, Lord, I need you. I'm at my breaking point. Come and heal me. Time and again, Jesus demonstrated his power healing lepers, restoring sight to the blind, and enabling the paralyzed to walk. In each of these miracles, a common thread emerged. People cried out to him, drew near, asked, and believed. Their faith was the catalyst for their healing. Sometimes we may feel as though God is silent or that miracles are delayed. However, the reality is that often it is we who fail to cry out, those who do not believe wholeheartedly. For those who persist in searching for human solutions when the answer lies beyond, such efforts are ultimately inconsequential. What type of healing are you seeking today? It could potentially be a physical ailment, whether it's emotional pain, an unshakable anxiety, or an inexplicable sadness. Know this, healing is within reach. The power of the divine knows no bounds, and neither does the depth of love available to you. She faces challenges, Consider the tale of the woman who endured blood flow issues for 12 long years. She explored every avenue. She poured all her resources into doctors, remedies, and compassionate solutions, yet nothing yielded results. Then she learned about Jesus. In a bold act of faith, in her final moment of desperation, she navigated through the throng and reached out to touch his garment. In that very instant, she was healed. That is the belief that transforms lives. This is the kind of faith that draws in divine power, a relentless faith that refuses to surrender, that stands firm against fear and doubt. It's a faith that passionately cries out, relentlessly seeks, and boldly believes in the impossible. Today, you receive the same powerful message that was once shared. Your faith has brought you healing. Regardless of how long you've faced challenges or how insurmountable they appear, if you reach out to God, He will respond. His promise stands true. Clara, Lord my God, I cried out to you and you healed me. Do not silence your prayer. Do not hide your pain. Do not attempt to solve it alone. Instead, cry out to God. Offer Him every wound, every anguish, every fear. Prepare yourself, for when God heals, He does so in a way that utterly transforms your life. He's accomplished it in the past. He has accomplished this in the past. Moreover, He has accomplished this alongside kings, prophets, and everyday individuals alike. He has reached out to those who, even in their darkest moments, lifted their voices in desperation, and if He responded to them, He will surely respond to you. Today marks the beginning of your healing journey. Today is the moment to release that weight, express your emotions with conviction, have faith that God will guide you through the hurt, and trust in His power to rejuvenate every aspect of your life. Take action now, speak up, and make your voice heard today. Reach out to God, for His response is already en route. He is your healer. Verse 3, Psalms chapter 4, verse 18. The Lord draws close to those who are brokenhearted and offers salvation to the humble in spirit. In moments of heartbreak, when life feels like it's crumbled around you and the pain is overwhelming, there's a crucial reminder to hold on to. Isn't it true that God is close by? A hollow commitment. This isn't merely a fleeting solace, it's a timeless reality. In your moments of suffering, God remains by your side. He doesn't turn away when tears fall. He stands with you even when you feel you can't go on. In fact, when your heart shatters, He draws nearer than you could imagine. You may have felt a profound sense of isolation, tried to express your situation without success, or reached out for help only to discover it fell short of your needs. You've encountered indifference, yet know this: God understands. He sees every tear and hears every unspoken thought. He knows your feelings, even when words fail you. While the world may overlook your pain, God does not. He is not a distant figure, merely observing from the sidelines. Instead, He is a loving Father, ready to reach out when you need Him most, standing by your side when you feel like you're drowning. As others walk away, He reflects on your most challenging times, those moments when hope seemed distant and everything felt utterly hopeless. Reflect for a moment. You remain present. You're aware of the reason. Even if you haven't seen it or felt it right away, you are never alone. Divine support isn't reserved for the flawless, the orderly, or the unscathed. It's there for the broken, the wounded, and those who have lost their way. This presence is dynamic, bringing healing and salvation when you need it most. Sometimes we believe that God comes closer to us during our moments of strength, when we feel at our best. Even in moments of doubt, this verse reveals a profound truth. He draws near when we feel broken, when our faith wavers, and when pain clouds our belief. Life can challenge us in countless ways, especially after we've stumbled time and again, leaving us questioning our ability to rise once more. Perhaps you've experienced the pain of giving your heart to someone only to face betrayal, Or maybe anxiety and fear have settled in as unwelcome guests. You might feel isolated, unseen, and lacking direction, but remember this: you are not forgotten. There is a presence close by, offering solace and support. In the quiet moments when answers feel out of reach and the weight of solitude presses down, remember, He is always present. He doesn't just see your suffering. He's poised to rescue you, elevate you, and bring you back to wholeness. Jesus clearly stated during His ministry that His purpose was not for the healthy, but for the sick. He didn't arrive for the powerful. He arrived for the vulnerable. He came not for the ones who have it all figured out, but for the broken, the seekers of a second chance, the voices rising from the depths of despair. Consider Mary Magdalene, a woman scorned by society, yet cherished by Jesus. Think about Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times before ultimately finding his path to redemption. Consider Paul, once a persecutor of Christians, who transformed into a remarkable instrument of God's purpose. He doesn't discard the broken, He reinvents them. You might believe that your pain is so profound that no one could possibly comprehend it. Text regardless of your struggles, there is a promise that you can rise above them. Divine intervention can lift you from any pit, no matter how deep it may be. It's essential to take into account a key element. Invite Him in, allow His presence to illuminate those shadowy areas where pain has settled. Stop bearing that burden. Cease the facade of being okay when you're truly falling apart inside. Reach out to Him. Summon Him in your pain, in your sorrow, in your fatigue. When you call out, He answers. There's no need to deliver an elaborate prayer or find the perfect phrasing. Simply declare, "Lord, here I am. I feel shattered. I'm counting on You to rescue me," and He will come through. While God doesn't guarantee a life free from pain, He assures us of His presence during our struggles. Sometimes the reasons behind events elude us, and the path forward may not be immediately clear. One thing is certain: we are not in this alone. If today you find your heart heavy, if you feel overwhelmed and lost, if life seems devoid of purpose, hold on to this powerful truth. God is close by. There's no need to search far and wide. He is right there, ready to step into your life. He is the God of restoration, the source of renewed strength, the one who transforms sorrow into celebration, who turns tears into joy. When you choose to trust today, when you choose to believe, you'll discover how His love mends all that feels beyond repair within you. Embrace the journey ahead. Your narrative is far from finished. Even when today feels like nothing but ashes, remember that a new chapter is on the horizon. The divine presence is near to those who are brokenhearted, ready to uplift and save those who are humble in spirit. Psalm 55, verse 22, verse 4, "Trust in the Lord, and He will support you. He will never abandon the righteous in their time of need." How often have you sensed that the burdens of life are too heavy to bear alone? Each morning greets you with a cascade of worries, fears that hold you captive, and anxieties that linger. You find yourself questioning how to progress when it feels like the world is stacked against you, with challenges accumulating and despair knocking at your door. But here's a truth worth embracing. God is not He invites you to share that burden, gazing at you with compassion, boundless love, and a sincere wish to assist you. Yet, He needs you to release what weighs heavily on your heart. Often, we attempt to manage everything alone, believing we can tackle it all without assistance, feeling it's our duty to resolve every issue and worry. But that's not the expectation placed upon us. You weren't created to bear the weight of the world. He crafted you to lean on Him, to place your trust in His strength rather than your own, ensuring that His peace governs your heart instead of anxiety. and that his presence suffices when everything seems to be unraveling. He invites, "Cast your burdens upon me." He doesn't urge you to push your limits. He doesn't ask you to cope. He simply invites you to surrender it all to him, to place your trust in him with your pain, your worries, and your unsolvable problems. Because here lies the essential truth. God not only takes on your burdens, he empowers you to carry on. Not only does he lift the burden from your shoulders, but he also empowers you, instills new strength, and fills you with hope. He reassures you that you are not alone, and the most impactful aspect of this verse lies in its concluding words. He will not abandon the fallen forever. When you find yourself at your lowest, feeling as though you've hit rock bottom and see no path forward, remember that you are not alone. God is with you, ready to lift you up. Though the world might try to persuade you that escape is impossible and your situation seems hopeless, remember that a greater truth has been unveiled. You are destined to rise again. Divine intervention may elevate you, though it might not unfold as you expect or within your desired time frame. However, he will complete his table. Reflect on Job's journey. He faced the abrupt devastation of losing his family, his health, and his riches. Even so, he held firm in his faith in God, who eventually returned all he had lost and blessed him with double the abundance he once possessed. Consider Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, wrongfully imprisoned, and overlooked by those he had aided for years. His journey was marked by relentless suffering and unfairness. Yet, at the perfect moment, divine intervention prevented his downfall. He was elevated, honored, appointed as governor of Egypt, and became the instrument of salvation for a whole nation. When it seems like all hope is gone, remember that a powerful restoration is on the horizon. In moments of overwhelm, divine strength is ready to uplift you. Nonetheless, an essential element warrants your attention. Let go of the weight you've been carrying. We often claim to trust in God, yet we find ourselves entangled in worry and the need to control every aspect of our lives. True trust means resting in his promises. It's about saying, "Lord, this is no longer mine. I surrender it to you." When you do this, something remarkable occurs. Your soul feels lighter, your heart is filled with peace, and you sense God's presence lifting you up and restoring you. Perhaps you've been shouldering a burden that isn't yours to bear, trying to be strong for too long. Today, God is reminding you that you don't have to do it alone. He is here, ready to take your burdens and sustain you. He is the God who never abandons his children, the one who lifts, restores, and supports, regardless of how daunting your challenges may seem or how long you've been struggling. Today marks the moment of release. Today marks a celebration of trust. So take a moment to breathe deeply. Lift your hands and express to God, "Lord, I surrender my burden to you. I have complete faith in you. Your unwavering faith assures me that I won't falter. When you catch me, you'll witness the burdens lift, for when God holds everything, nothing can bring us down." Psalms 103 verse 2, praise the Lord, my soul, and remember all of his blessings. He is the one who wipes away all your wrongs, the one who mends all your wounds. How often do we overlook the countless blessings God has bestowed upon us? We tend to fixate on what we lack, on the desires yet to be fulfilled, and on the delays that frustrate us. In doing so, we forget to acknowledge the abundance already in our lives. This verse serves as a powerful reminder. Bless the Lord and remember all his benefits. It's all too easy to slip into a mindset of ingratitude when things don't unfold as we wish. We complain, we feel frustrated, and we may even sense abandonment. Yet, if you are breathing today, if a new day lies ahead, it is a testament to God's goodness. He has been faithful, Even in our moments of unawareness and ungratefulness, He has stood by you in every battle, providing sustenance when you felt you had none left. He has shielded you from unseen dangers and provided you with the strength you needed just when you were on the verge of giving up. And here's the most incredible aspect of this verse. God has bestowed upon you blessings in natural realm, but He has accomplished something even more profound. He forgives all your iniquities, every misstep, every stumble, and every error. He has deep feelings for you. How often have you experienced guilt? Have you ever felt unworthy of God's forgiveness? Remember, His grace surpasses any failure you may have experienced. Text regardless of your past, divine forgiveness is always within reach. Jesus bore the burden on the cross, freeing you from the weight of your past. Embrace a life unshackled by chains, guilt, and shame, and step into true freedom. If you have received God's forgiveness, let go of what He has already washed away. The verse continues beyond that point. Not only does God forgive, but He also brings healing. God does not specify that He heals particular ailments, nor does He indicate that His healing is limited to certain individuals. He claims to cure all your ailments. Perhaps you've been facing a health challenge. Perhaps you've encountered a tough diagnosis, or maybe there are unseen wounds in your heart that have been weighing heavily on you. Divine healing is possible for all things. Examine the Gospels. Jesus performed miraculous healings for the blind, the paralyzed, the lepers, and the possessed. His impact went beyond physical ailments. He mended souls, healed broken hearts, and rekindled hope for those who had lost it all. He has transformed. What He accomplished in the past, He can achieve again today. If He healed those who sought His touch, He can heal you as well. The essential part, you must believe it. At times, we find ourselves questioning. We believe that God can bring healing to others, but struggle to see that same possibility for ourselves. We often persuade ourselves that our circumstances are unique, that perhaps it's not meant to be, or that we might not deserve it. Yet, the reality is that His will remains constant. It has been a journey of healing. Jesus welcomed everyone who approached Him for healing, embracing all who came with faith. They experienced restoration. What makes you any different? God desires more than mere existence for you. He wants you to embrace life to the fullest, free from chains, illness, and guilt. What steps should you take next? Honor His name and cherish His blessings. Remember all that He has already accomplished in your life. Remember, He has already made the sacrifice for your forgiveness and your healing. If you find yourself unwell today, burdened by a heavy heart, or feeling the relentless pursuit of guilt, now is the moment to surrender it all to God. Let go of the burdens that Jesus has already taken upon Himself on the cross. Express your gratitude now, Lord. Thank you for your forgiveness and for the healing you provide. Today, I embrace trust in you, and I choose to focus on your advantages. Declare that you are my healer, my deliverer, my restorer. Be prepared, for when you believe and proclaim His truth about your life, His power starts to manifest. It doesn't matter what the doctors say or what your mind tells you. God holds the final say. Give thanks to the Lord. Remember, He is the one who pardons all your transgressions and heals all your diseases. Today marks the moment of embracing all that has been thoughtfully arranged for you. Just have faith. Psalms 147, verse 3, He mends the hearts that are shattered and wraps up their wounds with care. Discomfort is undeniable. The invisible wounds we bear in our souls are deeply felt. They burden us, they cause pain, and some of life's blows leave marks that time cannot erase. We endure losses that leave us hollow, betrayals that strip away our trust, and memories that resurface repeatedly, haunting us with reminders of what we've lost. Yet, there's an important truth you must understand. God mends the hearts that are shattered, regardless of how fragmented you may feel today, and despite the countless tears you've quietly shed, God is present to soothe every ache. He's not a distant deity who overlooks the suffering of his children. He's the one who comes close, who heals, who elevates those in need. Perhaps you've attempted to articulate your feelings, yet words often fall short. You might have grown accustomed to that lingering pain as if it were an inseparable part of you, an affliction that seems impossible to shake off. However, remember that you are not meant to bear this burden alone. Divine healing extends beyond physical ailments to mend fractured spirits, addressing both the visible injuries and those hidden from view. It's essential to keep hidden those who have brought you sorrow, the ones that have changed the way you see life, the way you see the people you see yourself in. He doesn't just heal, he bandages the wounds. He doesn't just overlook your pain, he treats it with care. He's not a healer who acts lightly. He knows where it hurts. He knows how to heal. He knows who you need and are willing to do so. Think of Jesus. When he was on earth, his ministry was not for the perfect, but for the wounded. He reached out to the rejected, those who no one wanted, those who were physically and emotionally broken, and he restored him. The leper who had been set apart from society touched him and healed him. The woman with an issue of blood who lived years in suffering, Jesus restored her. In a single moment, Jesus elevated Peter, who had faltered in guilt, and transformed him into a formidable leader. God embraces the broken, choosing to restore rather than discard. It's possible that you're feeling a deep sense of heartbreak from the hurtful words and actions of someone close to you. Amidst a betrayal, life may have dealt you a tough hand with losses, shattered dreams, and disappointments, leaving you feeling uncertain about your next steps. Hear this: your journey with God is far from over. Regardless of how scattered you may feel, He has the ability to gather every fragment and create something fresh. He views you not as beyond repair, but as a person deserving of healing, love, and renewal. Simply reveal those wounds and stop concealing them. Stop acting like they don't hurt. Let God touch what no one else can touch. Because here's the problem. Many times we want to heal, but we don't want God to touch us where it hurts. We want the pain to go away. But without facing the process of restoration, and God's healing is not superficial, He goes deep, He goes to the root of the wound. Sometimes that means confronting what we've avoided for years. Sometimes it means forgiving, sometimes it means letting go of what has kept us trapped. But when we allow that God works something unbelievable, pain happens, stops controlling us. What was once an open wound becomes a scar of Victoria. What once bound us becomes testimony. God can do that with you. He wants to do that with you. No matter how long you've carried that wound, no matter who hurt you or how much damage they did, today can be the day when everything changes. Tell God, Lord, here, it is my heart. It is broken, it is wounded, but I trust that you can heal it. And let Him do what only He can do. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Doubt it no longer. The restoration that you have waited for so long is in His hands. And if you dare to believe, He will do something new in you. Verse 7, Isaiah chapter 53, verse 5. But He was wounded by our transgressions, were crushed for our sins. The punishment of our peace was upon Him, and by His stripes we were healed. Every wound, every blow, every drop of blood shed. He had a purpose. It was not in vain. It was not a coincidence. Jesus took our place, not because we deserved it, but because His love was greater than our sin. Think of this: He was wounded by our rebellions, not by those of others, not by that we consider more sinners, but for yours and mine. Every mistake, every lie, every wrong decision, Jesus carried on His shoulders what should be our punishment. He took it without hesitation. He was not only wounded, He was crushed for our sins. The weight of our guilt crushed Him. Every scourge, every nail, every thorn in His head. It was not only an act of human cruelty, it was the price that was being paid for our freedom. We should have carried that cross. We should have felt every lash. We were the ones who were destined for eternal separation from God. But Jesus intervened. He was not guilty. He knew no sin. He did not deserve to suffer, but he did it out of love, a love so pure and so great that he preferred to bear our punishment. Rather than see us lost forever, the punishment of our peace was upon him. You feel anxiety every time guilt consumes you, every time worry robs you of peace. Remember that Jesus already carried that weight. You don't have to live tormented. You don't have to stay in pain. You don't have to carry what Jesus has already paid. Your peace has a price, and that price was already paid on the cross. But the most powerful revelation of this verse is at the end. By his wounds. It doesn't say we will be healed. It says we were. It's a fact. It's done. Jesus has already borne your disease. No matter what the diagnosis is, no matter how long you've been suffering, no matter if the world says there's no solution, God already declared healing upon you. When the whips tore Jesus back, when his skin broke with every blow, he was taking upon himself every disease, every pain, if Jesus has already carried it. Why do you continue to live as if sickness has the last word? If Jesus has already overcome sin, why do you continue to believe that your past has already given you freedom? Why do you continue to live as a prisoner when he said on cross, finished? It was not just a phrase, it was a declaration of victory. The price was paid, salvation was guaranteed. The way back God was open to God today. You have two choices. Continue to carry the weight of your guilt, your illness, and your past, or give it to Jesus and receive the freedom he bought for you. It's not a complicated process. You don't need to make sacrifices or pay a price. You just need to believe Jesus didn't die on the cross so that you would live in fear. He didn't suffer so that you would remain enslaved to sin. He died and rose again to give you a new life. So stop living in defeat. You're redeemed. Stop mourning the past. You're restored. Stop accepting sickness like a destiny. You're healed. Because when Jesus took those nails, when his blood fell to the ground, when he bore the weight of all humanity, he did it thinking of you. He knew that one day you'd read this. He knew that one day you'd wonder if there's really hope for you, and the answer is yes. His sacrifice was enough. His love is enough. His power is enough. You just have to accept it. You just have to believe. For by his stripes we were healed. Verse 8. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 14, heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved, because you are my praise. These words of Jeremiah remind us that true healing comes from God. There is no medicine more powerful than his grace. There is no safer refuge than his presence when the soul is wounded, when the body feels weak. Only in him do we find restoration. Jeremiah cries out with faith, recognizing that healing is not only physical, but also spiritual, because many times the soul suffers more than the body, and in med of pain, our only hope is the Lord. The Bible teaches us that God is our healer from the Old Testament to the New Testament. We see his mighty hand working miracles in Exodus 15, verse 26. God declares, I am the Lord your healer. There is no sickness, anguish, or brokenness that he cannot alleviate. Jesus himself in his earthly ministry healed the sick, restored the lame, restored sight to the blind, and cleansed the lepers. But more beyond the physical, his greater purpose was to heal the soul of sin and bring salvation to those who believe in him. When Jeremiah cries out from a needy heart, the people were in rebellion, separated from God, and he felt the weight of that burden, but his confidence remained firm. You are my praise. That is, even if the situation was difficult, even if the disease was present, even if sin was around, he knew that in God had hope today. This message is still real. Sometimes we find ourselves in moments of trial where we feel that there's no way out, that the wounds are deep, but God is still our healer. God's healing does not always come the way we expect. Sometimes it is instantaneous, like when Jesus touched the leper and was cleansed at that very moment. Other times it is a process, like when Naaman had to dive 7 times in the Jordan to be healed of his leprosy. The important thing is to trust that God is in control, that his will is perfect, and that he never abandons us. The psalmist also understood it when he said, "Bless the Lord and do not forget any of his benefits. He is the one who forgives all your iniquities, the one who heals all your infirmities." Psalms 103 verse 2 and 3. Here we see that healing and forgiveness go hand in hand, because many times the sickness of the soul is heavier than that of the body. Resentment, unforgiveness, sadness, and sin can make us sick inside. But God is willing to heal not only the body but the heart. Jesus came into the world with a clear purpose to bring salvation. He himself said, "The healthy have no need of a physician, but the sick," Matthew 9 verse 12. And he was not only talking about the physically sick, but about those who were lost in sin, because the greatest miracle is not the healing of the body, but the restoration of the soul. So when Jeremiah cries out, "Save me, and I will be saved," he recognizes that only God can give eternal life. In the New Testament, we see a powerful example of faith in God's healing. The woman with an issue of blood had spent everything on doctors, but no one could help her. 12 years of suffering, pain, despair. But one day she heard about Jesus and knew that she only had to touch the hem of his garment to be healed. Her faith made her come closer, and the instant she touched him, she was free from her illness. Jesus told her, "Your faith has saved you. Go in peace," Luke 88 verse 48. Just like her, we must have faith that God can heal us. But we must also remember that healing is not always as we imagine it. Sometimes God allows us to go through processes because he wants to teach us something, strengthen us, or use us for his glory. Paul himself had a thorn in the flesh, something that caused him suffering, and although he asked God to take it away, the answer was, "My grace is enough, because my power is perfected in the weakness," of Corinthians 12:9. This shows us that even if we don't always understand the reason for our pain, we can trust that God has a purpose. If he heals us, it is for his glory. If he allows us to continue in the trial, it is also for his glory, because he knows what is best for us. Jeremiah understood this when he said, "You are my praise no matter the circumstances." Worship was still for God today. If you are going through sickness, anguish, or any difficult situation, remember this promise. Cry out to God in faith like Jeremiah. Put your trust in him, for his power knows no bounds. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His love remains the same. His grace is still sufficient. And if he is your praise, you will find peace, strength, and hope in his presence. Verse 9, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans of well-being and not calamity, to give you a future and a hope." This verse reminds us that God has the absolute of our lives. Even when everything seems dark, when trials surround us, and we feel that there is no way out, he has a greater purpose. God has not abandoned us. He has not left us adrift. His plans are for well-being, prosperity, life. And even if the path is difficult, even if sometimes we don't understand what's going on, we can trust that his will is perfect. When God gave this word to his people, they were in captivity in Babylon. They were in a strange land far from home, feeling abandoned. But God says to them, "I know the plans I have for you were not empty words." It was not a simple promise. It was the certainty that your destiny was in God's hands. Many times we feel trapped in situations that we don't understand, wondering why God allows certain things. But this verse teaches us that his purpose is greater than our understanding. God does not say that there will be no evidence. In fact, in the previous verse, he tells them that they will spend 70 years in Babylon before they are restored. But what he promises is that even in the midst of difficulty, his plan still stands. His plan is not canceled by our circumstances. It is not altered by our mistakes. If God has said that he has welfare plans for you, believe it. No matter what you see, no matter what you feel, his word is true. In Isaiah 55 verses 8, and 9, God says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor your ways are my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my thoughts, and so are my ways." His ways surpass our own, and his thoughts exceed our understanding. This reminds us that even in moments of confusion regarding God's actions, we can place our trust in his perfect plan. It's not about our desires, but rather about the beautiful design he has crafted for our benefit. Joseph exemplifies this journey, betrayed by his brothers, wrongfully accused, imprisoned, and overlooked by those he once aided. His life appeared to be a relentless descent, yet years later, a divine plan was set in motion. When he took on the role of governor of Egypt and saved countless lives, he could confidently declare, "You thought evil against me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 50 verse 20. What appeared to be a setback was, in fact, a crucial element of a greater plan. Paul grasped this profound truth when he stated in Romans 8 verse 28, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those chosen for a greater purpose." It's not just the good that shapes us. Rather, it's the entirety of our experiences, pain, trials, and the mysteries we face that contribute to our journey. Every aspect is woven into God's divine plan for our lives. When Jesus was on the cross, it seemed that everything was lost. His disciples were confused, his mother was crying, his enemies were mocking. But in the midst of that pain, God was fulfilling his greatest plan, the salvation of humanity. What seemed like a tragedy was actually the greatest victory of all. So, when you go through difficult times, when you feel that everything is collapsing, remember this word. God knows the plans he has for you are not for calamity. They are not for destruction. They are plans for the well-being, for hope for the future. Maybe today you don't understand it. Maybe you feel that God is silent, but his job's purpose is still going on. He lost everything in one day, his family, his riches, his health. But in the midst of his pain, he said, "I know that my Redeemer lives." Job 19 verse 25. He didn't understand what was happening, but he knew that God had the last word. And in the end, God restored everything he had lost and gave him even more than he had before. God is not wrong. If he has promised you something, he will fulfill it. Maybe not in the time you expect, maybe not in the way you imagine, but his faithfulness never fails. His plan is bigger than your fears, stronger than your doubts, more powerful than any obstacle today. Hold on to this promise. No matter what you are living, God still has a plan for you. Don't let circumstances make you doubt. Don't let fear steal your hope. Trust that he is at work, even if you don't see him, even if you don't feel his purpose. He is greater. His love is eternal.